Hello, my name's Celia Ingham-Clarke. You won't have seen me earlier today because I had other commitments, but I arrived here in your lunch break and I was immediately struck by the huge enthusiasm in the conversations around me. And so I clearly missed something very important this morning, and I'm sorry that I did. So my role here is simply to chair the latter part of the afternoon. But my day job is as the Medical Director for Clinical Effectiveness in NHS England. And at the moment, I'm also temporarily covering as the Interim National Director of Patient Safety. So with both those hats on, and as a mother, I've got a really big interest in making sure that maternity and neonatal care is as safe as it can possibly be. And Phil Duncan is one of my deputies, and I support the work that he does with this, and I want to ensure that everything is joined up in this space. So welcome back. I know you've just been in breakouts, and I hope that those have been very useful for you. And particularly the improvement lead colleagues in the Wave 1 organisations, because I gather some of the Wave 1 organisations, in fact most of them, have been going like trains so far, so well done Wave 1. In terms of key points, I think I did have an opportunity to hear back from Ruth May, who really found it fascinating to be involved in some of the work here earlier today. And she's very enthusiastic about the work that you've been doing, so congratulations on that. I think there is a point to pick up about ensuring that everybody engages their neonatal teams. I think the maternity side is working really well, but some places haven't got as much engagement as perhaps they might want to have with neonatal colleagues. So if you feel that you're in one of those organisations, can you give yourself that as a piece of homework to take back? And I think the other feedback that we're hearing so far is that we do need to continue to work to try to simplify the structures. There are so many different organisations and people working in the space of improving the safety for mothers and for babies. And everybody is extremely well intentioned, but we really need to be careful that we don't trip over each other in this work, but we are able to work in a collaborative way. And certainly some of the feedback that I've heard this afternoon suggests that we're actually getting to that position. And it's a much smoother alliance now than perhaps it was even only 6 months ago. So for those of you who've put a lot of effort into making that work, I'd like to say thank you to you too. We're going to get an update from Phil Duncan in a few minutes, but before that, I want to remind you to keep putting in your questions and comments on GLISA. We will pick up some of the GLISA questions, the ones that are most liked, but the GLISA things that you put in that don't get picked up in the room will be picked up after you go home. So keep commenting and feeding back on GLISA during and after the event, please. Now, I want to ask you to answer one question on GLISA at the moment, so if you could have your phones or tablets out, please. So this question is, on a scale of 1 to 5, how far have we developed true partnership working with mothers and families in maternal and neonatal care improvement? 1, where you don't feel there's any partnership, and 5, where you think there's true partnership working. Can you vote now, please? It's interesting how seeing results influences the way people vote, isn't it? Okay, so that's fairly settled. So it looks as if people feel that some progress has been made in that direction, but there is still a way to go. So that's, again, something for us all to take away and make sure that we work on going forward. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce Phil Duncan. As I said, he's one of my deputies in the patient safety team. He's head of the patient safety programmes in NHS Improvement. Phil started life as a nurse, and I think it's fair to say he's had patient care and patient quality improvement absolutely as front and centre all the way through his career. He's worked for the Modernisation Agency, he's worked on quality improvement in the old National Patient Safety NPSA, and he's now come through NHS England into NHS Improvement with the patient safety team, and he heads up our work on patient safety in the maternity and neonatal space. So Phil, over to you.